So what we've done is we split the shoe categories. If you see a massive shoe wall, there are, you know, like 150 shoes or whatever. We split them down. The first thing to remember is funds. That's your first F word, funds. That is money. And what we generally do is, suggested retail is kind of a quirky thing, but if you go below about $85, $80 to $85, vendors start pulling away the things that we think are important, either stability features or durable cushion features or both. So it doesn't mean you can't buy a shoe for 50 bucks, it just means you are more likely, the less expensive you go, to find something that isn't right for you. Now the irony is beginners or people that are just starting out think, well, I'm just starting out so I'm going to go buy an entry-level shoe. However, beginners, many of us here, are more likely to get injured when we start. So it's actually more important to go find something that matches up with your characteristics, and that price range starts around $80 to $85 and it usually ends around $100. You can go above $100 and sometimes you have to go above $100, but not always. And in fact, probably 80% of the shoes that we carry are in that price point somewhere. So the first F, funds. I'm going to do these quicker. So the first F, we got funds, between $80 and $100. Got it? Excellent. Next F is fit. People oftentimes come up and they say, you know, I need a running shoe, and I say, okay, do you know what size you are? Go ahead and say what size you are, out loud. Say it out louder. Okay. Now go ahead and add like a size and a half to it, and just say it once to get comfortable with the sound of it. Say it, okay. So it's not a strict recipe. We're not going to go, oh, you're an 8, let's get you a 9.5. But it is unbelievably common to change what you believe to be your shoe size for a number of reasons. One, many of you haven't changed your shoe size since like 7th grade. You're like, I got measured when I was in 7th grade. I'm a 9.2A heel and a 9.4A forefoot or whatever on the little Brannock device. And we go, okay, we go grab a 10. We come back, and then we usually grab a 10.5 wide for you, and we get you on your way. So fit is a couple of different things. One of them is go ahead and disassociate yourself with whatever width and number you have been comfortable saying, because it's probably not going to be the one you end up with. Our shoes run a little smaller than dress shoes, and your feet do something very significant over a duration of exercise. Can anybody guess what they do? Do they get smaller or bigger? Bigger. Bigger. And sometimes, for some of you, inordinately bigger. Like, they just swell. If you ever have experienced this when you're flying, you go through the thing, the security and everything feels great, and about 40 or 50 minutes into your flight, you're like, what in the crap? You're unlacing your shoes, and people are sniffing, and like, what's happening? It's because your feet are swelling, and the same thing happens when you exercise. So fit, forget the size, and also the other really fundamental thing of this is your toes need to spread out to work well, and so mechanically, it's so much better to have width and length than it is to have tightness, particularly when you go over about an hour's worth of exercise. Now today we're doing 5 miles in the yellow and red group, and the quick calculations on that are, if you're running 12-minute pace over 5 miles, that would be about 60 minutes. Very good. Yes, 60 minutes. And so, this is about the time you'll start to experience these weird foot changes. Cooler weather helps, but longer runs add to it, and when it gets warmer, then you're like all the way off the charts, and you have to kind of predict that. So that's the other kind of tool that we'll use. Whether you're going to buy a shoe from us or not, if you're just curious about your size, or if you just bought a shoe somewhere and you're not sure about it, come over to the tent and have somebody do a quick little evaluation after you run, because that's when we have to do it, not before. It doesn't matter to us before, it matters after. So first F was, second F,